These hearts. What is this? Huh. Okay, there we go. What's up, everybody? What's up? Got Frinsky in the house. What's up, Jay? Jay Bird. Hanging out on the VR or what? I can't smile too big. Any stretching like hurts the. I start feeling pain. What's up, Bo? My friend. Good to see you. God that doesn't need us. Well, something that doesn't exist can't need anything. So there is no God out there that needs anything because he doesn't exist. Good evening. Well, Bo, it's a lot better than it was yesterday. The procedure I had yesterday did, oh man, it just worked miracles on me as far as what a surgeon can do, an oral surgeon can do. He performed a miracle. Trying to let this tea cool down before I sip it down too much. I'm really not supposed to have anything hot. Oh, thank you, Judy. Hello and welcome. You're kind of right. Yeah. So, yeah, religion is bondage. All these points here. You don't need a God. There is no devil. There is no hell. You are existence. You're already free. You're looking for things out there in religions and gods and Bibles, and you don't need any of that. You already have all that you need here, right here, as existence. Glad you're doing better. It's always good to see you. Thank you, Bo. Yeah, it's always good to see you too, my friend. Denial of God and hell and heaven won't change a single thing. No, it doesn't because those things don't exist. So you believing in them doesn't change anything either. Eddie. Complicated universe demands and no chaos never. No, that's not true. That's a belief statement. You're commenting your belief statement. Hey, Skyrider, not yet. Thank you, Bo. Probably later on, I may. I'm not going to have too long of a live tonight. I am streaming on TikTok and YouTube, by the way. But I'm not going to go too long tonight because I got a mouthful of stitches right now. And I don't know how long I'm going to be able to make it. But I do usually, yes, let guests on, but a little bit later, my friend. So yes, I'm going to start letting on guests later, most likely. Normally I do. Yeah, Christianity is the sickness of the mind. You know, religion is bondage, and Christianity is a product of human beings. That's all it is. TikTok keeps censoring my bondage jokes. Upsetting. Does it really? What's up, Freeman? That's funny. Yeah, Xander, a lot better than it was yesterday. So the surgeon yesterday did he did well. He relieved me of so much pain, and I'm so glad. You're only strengthening my faith in Jesus. I don't know how that's possible. I haven't even said anything yet. So you're wanting your faith to be strengthened. So that's what you're saying. So whatever you want is what you're getting. But if you wanted truth, you would go examine what Christianity actually is, which is a product of human beings. It has no truth to it whatsoever. None. The Jesus that you believe in of the New Testament never existed. There may have been a Jesus guy that the stories are based on, but the stories in the New Testament that you read about Jesus are not true. They're fiction. What's up, Christopher? How you doing? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, thank you, Xander. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. What made you not believe in God? Well, I just don't believe in anything. I mean, I was a pastor. I have a Master's of Arts in Religion from Westminster Theological Seminary, and digging in, researching, studying, really understanding the historical context of the New Testament really was a huge game changer for me. When I read Josephus and I studied first century Judaism, second temple Judaism, it opened up a whole new world of understanding for me. And I realized that all these things that we believed in and expect to happen, like Jesus coming back and all those kinds of things, is simply never going to happen. Those things were all written in their own historical context, not for us, but for those people in that time to try to understand the things that were going on in their lives. W. Rick is always, namely the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD by the Romans. That was the big focus. Thank you, Judy. That was the big focus. That was the big dilemma. That is what they were trying to come to grips with and wrestle with. How could God possibly let our temple, his temple where he dwelled, right? How could he let this be destroyed? How could he let his people go through this again? And so the New Testament, the stories of the New Testament are the answers that the theologians and religious continuationists come up with. Learning the history of the book of Revelation destroys it all. Right. When you understand that Revelation has everything to do with the destruction of Jerusalem and nothing to do with jets and wars in 2024, it has nothing to do with anything today, then you realize, wow, this is all historically contexted. What happens after death? Well, I don't know because I've never died before. So anybody that tells you what happens after death is purely imagination because no one knows. No one has ever truly experienced death to let us know what happens after death. So no one knows. And any book or person or religion that tells you what happens after death, it's purely imagination. It's purely belief and imagination. There are near-death experiences, but they're just those. They're near-death experiences. It's not real death experiences. It's not a complete absent blankness of the mind, a shutting down of the mind, a total death. That never happens. There's always a little function left, and all these things that they experience are functions in the brain. Right, so they come back and say, "Oh, I went to hell, or I went to heaven, or I went to, I saw Allah, or Muhammad, or Jesus, and or a shaman." I mean, there's so many stories that people tell with these near-death experiences, but they're just that. They're near-death experiences. So no one knows, and the thing is, it's irrelevant. Thank you, Bo. It's irrelevant to try to answer that question. It's an irrelevant question because you can't experience it until you experience it. There's no need in thinking about and trying to figure out what happens after death because it is absolutely irrelevant. You'll never know until you go through it yourself. Thank you guys so much for the roses and the gifts. I appreciate that, my friends. I love you guys. Thank you. Near death is caused by a psychoactive hormone. Right. Thank you, Wade, my friend. The new title gifter. Thank you. Wow, Bo. Thank you, man. Right, exactly, Dr. Freeman. I was thinking the same thing. I was going to say it, and then I thought, better not. What near-death experience is all about. What is the Holy Spirit to you? Well, I mean, it's a myth. It doesn't exist. The Holy Spirit doesn't exist. Hold up. Gen Z Bible stories. Man, I love that stuff. Hello, hello. That's so awesome, man. I love your translation, man. It cracks me up. It cracks the hell out of me, dude. I love it. I was listening to some of it today. So funny. Gen Z, are you Gen Z Bible stories? Are you working on like a translation of the whole Bible, or do you just have some stories translated in the Gen Z language? That's so hilarious. Oh my God, so funny. And I'm gonna order one. Only New Testament so far. Nice. I'm gonna order one because I just think it's incredible. It's so good. And I know that the funny thing, the next book will be more nice. The funny thing is, if you guys don't follow Gen Z Bible studies, you really should. It's amazing. The funny thing is, like people all over the board are listening to those things and loving it because uh, atheists, agnostics, Christians, everybody's listening to you read these stories, and it's just it's so funny, man, because it's right on. I'm a high school teacher, and it's right on, man. The language is so on. It's incredible. Twisting scripture, just like Satan tried to do with Jesus. This is blasphemy. There's no such thing as blasphemy, my friend. What's up, Bustin? What's up, Bustin? Oh, good grief. The Shroud of Turin. Come on. Come on. What do you hear, Astro? Hear my dog barking. What do you hear, buddy? A lot of parrots tonight, man. A lot. A ton. Yes. A ton already. I'm probably going to have to get off and get back on. A lot of devils advocates Christ here tonight. Attacking Christianity, how original. I'm not attacking Christianity. I have a Master's of Arts in Religion from Westminster Theological Seminary. I was a pastor for several years. It was my life. I enjoy talking about it because I intellectually worked my way out of the religion, and I enjoy talking about those things. But I don't only talk about that. Dang it, I forgot to put my website on my background again. But if you go to rickquestionsthings.com, you can read about all kinds of things about living in the present, living in the constant acknowledgement that the present is all that there is. Um, I talk about non-duality, the nature of reality, being a non-dual nature. I talk about, and yes, I talk about my departure from Christianity as well. I talk about uh, the reasons why I departed from Christianity. I talk about why Jesus is never coming back. I talk about the historical context of the New Testament and how that played a huge, enormous part in my deconstruction, what is now called deconstruction. And then I didn't know what deconstruction was. I mean, I left Christianity and got out of ministry over a decade ago. Um, so, Jesus is coming back. No, he's not. He's really not, truly. He's truly not. Rick is one of the happiest dudes I've seen on here since he rid himself of the chains of religion. Right. Because religion is bondage, and they don't know that. They don't know that religion is bondage. I didn't either when I was in it. I believed it was freedom. I believed that I had, yes, in mind control, exactly. I believed that I had freedom in Christ. I believed that I had peace, but it's not because peace, freedom, love, all of those things are mutually exclusive with religion. You cannot have those in religion. You can't. It's impossible to have peace, true love, true freedom in religion. It's impossible. And people say, well, I don't have religion, I have spirituality or Jesus. And it's the same thing. I use those terms in the same way because believed the same thing when I was a Christian. I believed that I wasn't religious. I had a relationship with Jesus. And looking back, hindsight is 2020, and you realize that it's just imagination. It's your passion. It's your emotion. It's all of these things that well up inside you, your desire. You want it so badly that you experience it because you want it so badly. So you basically manifest it for yourself. Not that it's real. It isn't real. It's imagination. It's your emotions and your passions and your desires that produce it for you. And then you think it's real, and it's not. It's your imagination. 100% fact. Right. It is. It is fact. It really is. It's true. And I know it's hard to hear. It's hard to hear. I know it is. But it's true. And when you realize that the New Testament is all about the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD by the Romans, or 70 CE, whichever you like, it becomes awfully clear. The light gets turned on, and you go, oh, wow, this stuff is not true. This is just a historically contexted socio-political religion that has nothing to do with anything or anyone outside of its own context. The brain is very powerful. It is. It really is. Yep, Roman-Jewish war, exactly, Patrina. And that's all it had. That's all it is. That's all it had to do with. That's it. So when you read the Gospels and Jesus is talking about his coming in judgment, and you read it in light of this understanding, this intellectual understanding, this intellectual grasping of the historical context, you realize he's talking about the destruction of Jerusalem. And I say he's talking about in quotes because it's not really Jesus talking about it. The Gospels were written after the destruction of Jerusalem. They're written in prophetic hindsight with apocalyptic language, talking about the past events as though they haven't happened, so that they could continue on. They'd have a reason to continue on their religion post-Jerusalem, post-temple. And so it becomes this very spiritual religion, this very peaceful spiritual religion, as opposed to this very physical, warlike religion. We're a nation, we're going to battle. Well, they got their asses kicked in battle. And so now it morphs into this, from a physical religion to a spiritual religion, and a very peaceful, loving religion, because they knew they're just going to keep getting their asses kicked, and they couldn't keep getting their asses kicked. And that's why Christianity exists. That's the whole reason Christianity exists today. Without merit. I mean, there's no truth to it. There's no relevancy to it today. Mark's gospel was written in the 50s. It wasn't. If you look at any of the actual scholarship, there's no one except the ones who want to believe it was. There's no evidence, zero evidence that Mark was written prior to 70 AD. Zero. How's your mouth pain? It's tolerable. I took some ibuprofen before the live, so I have a mouthful of stitches back here though. It's all stitched up, man. So I'm kind of talking with a lisp a little bit. Religion is meant to control people. Guilt and fear, not free them. It's judgmental self-right. Yeah, exactly. And that's how religion operates. It operates in fear and conviction. And it never heals. It never gives you, Rick questions things. It never questions things. It never actually delivers. I just put a video out about this, that it never delivers. Religion is constantly dangling the carrot in front of you. Religion is riding on your back, which makes you the donkey, the jackass. And religion is constantly dangling the carrot in front of you, and you can never catch it. You'll never catch it. Peace, love, any of those things you will never catch, whether it's eternal life you're chasing, whatever it is. You'll never catch them because religion will never deliver. They'll never let you catch the carrot. They don't have a carrot to give you anyway. It's a fake carrot. And all they want is for you to continue to provide them for the means to continue to operate their business. So put money in the plate, continue to pay the preacher, continue to pay the admin, continue to fund them so they can continue to put on the show. So they'll never let you catch the carrot. And so for the rest of your life, as long as you are in religion, whether it's Christianity or Islam or Mormonism or any of them, you're going to keep chasing that carrot like a donkey. Keep chasing that carrot until you break down and you die, and Nothing. So you'll never catch the carrot. It's never going to deliver ever. Don't believe in spiritual encounters. I don't know what you mean by spiritual encounters. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Why are there so many denominations of Christianity? Good question. Because yeah, start taxing the churches, right? Um, that's because the book is so full. I mean, it has nothing to do with us today. That's why. And so we're so far removed from the historical context. That's why there are so many different interpretations of the Bible and so many different denominations, because it has nothing to do with us today. It has only to do with its own historical context. It's a work of its own historical context, its socio-political context. The destruction of Jerusalem, for instance. It has everything to do with that. Christians today aren't living in first century Jerusalem. They have no idea what the Bible is about. They have no idea what the New Testament is about. But that's all that it's about, is the destruction of Jerusalem. And so you get all these different denominations and all these different, I mean, thousands of denominations and thousands of different interpretations, because they're trying to interpret things that are written to that historical context. They're trying to interpret them to today, and it's impossible. It has nothing to do with us today. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And that's why you have so much variation. And I mean, I turned on TikTok today and there were two Christians just going at it, man, debating. And I was like, it's so funny that these two Christians are debating fiercely about their supposed same God. But that God doesn't exist. And they're trying to take these very ancient, historically contexted documents and apply them today and try to interpret them today. And it's just pointless. It's absolutely pointless. It'll never happen. Culture, context is key. Exactly, Patrina. It is 100%. Eliana, you sound like, well, you sound scared right now, Eliana. It's okay. I've been there. It's okay. You feel attacked, and I know. I'm not attacking you. Want that awesome shirt Rick has on? Go to rickquestionsthings.com. Exactly. Yeah, you can find this shirt at rickquestionsthings.com. Thank you, Bo, for the plug. I forgot to put it on my background. If I hop off and hop back on in a little bit, I'm going to have to add that to my background. I usually put my my website on the background. rickquestionsthings.com. You can go and read what I've written about these things, about deconstruction. You can read about non-duality. You can read about living in the present. You can read, I've been working through a Zen poem, kind of talking through that. You can read about that. You can also ask questions. I can see your passion when talking about the same with me. Yeah. Hey, Joanna. You can also ask me questions through my website, and I'll respond. I just launched the Ask Rick page not too long ago. It was this week. You can submit a question, and I'll create a video response for that question and put it on YouTube and on the website as well. Yeah, go to rickquestionsthings.com, because I also do have a lot of shirts that I've designed and created, coffee mugs, things like that, journals. What do you believe now that you're out? Well, I don't. I don't believe in anything. I have no beliefs, especially as far as it goes with any kind of religious beliefs or anything like that. I don't see any need to believe anything, right? So what I experience is life. I experience existence right here, right now. I experience an inseparable existence. So I find myself inseparable from my surroundings. I find myself inseparable from existence itself, which makes me existence and you existence. We are one. We're one existence. We are the cosmic energy of the universe. We're pure energy is what we are. And that energy takes forms in many ways. And that's what we are. We are the universe. The universe coming on as me and you and all these different people and things. But nonetheless, we are the universe. And so I experience, there's no need to believe anything, because you experience this existence right here, right now, this moment, this present moment. You don't experience the past right now. That's in the past. You only experience it as thoughts in the present moment. The present is all there is. This moment right here, right now is all that there is ever. Just the present. The future, you don't experience the future ever. You experience the imagination of the future right here, right now, in this moment. So there's no need to believe anything. So I don't believe anything at all. So religion is freedom. It's actually the exact opposite. And I think what you meant to say is religion is not freedom. Religion is bondage. I think that's what you meant. Surely that's what you meant. Universe and you are one. No, I didn't say the universe and I am one. There is only the universe. There is only existence. You're not separate from existence. You aren't separate from the universe. How can you be separate from the universe? You are the universe. You are one with the universe, meaning you are the universe. Everything is the universe. We think of like, oh, there's a mug and then there's the universe. That's absurd. That's absurd to separate the mug from the universe. And it's also absurd to separate yourself from the universe. I'm made up of atoms and the same atoms that the whole universe is made up of. I'm the same energy as the entire universe is made up of, because everything is energy. Matter is energy. Everything is energy. And energy is neither created nor destroyed. So it's all the flow of energy. You are the flow of energy. I am the flow of energy. It's all the flow of energy. And that's what we are. The we, the you, the me, ego is an illusion. It's just an illusion. It's a form that has come about in the flow of this energy. But what you really are deep down is that energy. What you really are deep down is existence itself. You're the ocean of being. And the ocean waves. And so I'm a wave and you're a wave, but the waves aren't separate from the ocean. The waves are the ocean. And so you are the ocean as well. You think you're just this separate wave entity out there, but you're not. You being a wave makes you the ocean. You're scaring me. It should be YOU''RE. I should be enlightening you. The origin of the word religion comes from religare, which means to bind oneself to God. Ah, that's interesting. Religare. I know I'm missing. Yeah, if you're scaring people, you're doing something right. Exactly. Thank you, Axel. I know that I'm missing a lot of comments, and I try to keep up. But when I'm speaking, when I'm talking, it's hard for me to. I can't read and talk at the same time. So profound, so meaningless. Why do you need meaning? Why do you need meaning? You have this, I need meaning, so please, God, give me meaning. Please, someone else give me meaning. Why can't you just be your own meaning? It's fear. It's weakness. Weakness needs a meaning out there. That's weakness is what that is. Thank you, Jen. Weakness says, God, please give me a meaning. There has to be a meaning, an overarching meaning, please, to my life. I can't just be this insignificant ego, this illusion of an ego. That's weakness. It's fear. It's weakness. But the courageous existence realizes that the ego is an illusion, and you have no meaning that you're searching for out there from a God. It just doesn't exist. There's no God out there giving you meaning. Oh, Petrino, yes, remind me after this live, and I'll message you about that, because I want to talk to you about it first, and then yeah, definitely, for sure. Post my comments when you take a breath in between the points you're making in order to be noticed. Good. That's wise. There's no gravity either, so we're all floating off into space. Okay. You don't accept voice. Yeah, later on I do. Yes, later on I do. You sound depressed and broken. Well, then you don't know me very well, Eliana. You're projecting your own depression and loneliness onto me. Anytime someone says that, they're projecting their own, they're projecting their own things that they're unhappy with onto me because they don't know me personally. They have no idea who I am. I'm actually extremely happy. I'm extremely positive. And everybody that knows me tells me that. I have guests on here that know me personally. They live here. Like, this guy is the happiest guy I've ever known. And so when, especially Christians seem to do this a lot because they feel so scared when they hear the things that I talk about. And they get on here and they go, oh, he's so lonely. I can see it in his eyes. He's depressed and sad and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it couldn't be further from the truth. But what they're doing is they're projecting, like Eliana is projecting their own depression and fear and loneliness and all that kind of stuff. They're projecting that onto me because that's all they know to do. They can't actually give valid responses or logical responses or intelligent responses. And so it's a parroting thing. They're parroting everything that everybody else says, right? A parrot doesn't understand the words that are coming out of its mouth. And Eliana doesn't understand the words that are coming out of her mouth or that are coming through her fingers because she's parroting the same things that I hear over and over and over from everybody else. It's the same stuff over and over. Thank you, by the way, for the gifts. I appreciate that very much. Thank you, Firebrand. I appreciate it. You're so angry. I can see it in your eyes. See, there's another one. That's the same parrot thing, projecting their own anger onto me, and I'm actually not. I'm not. I'm not angry at all. Why would I be angry? What do I have to be angry about? Now, when I first left Christianity, I was angry. I did have some anger. Excuse me. Thank you, Jen. I got out of Christianity and left ministry over a decade ago. And when I did, I did experience anger. I was mad, not at God because I didn't believe in God anymore. I'd intellectually worked my way out of Christianity. Rick is nothing but love and honesty and truth. Thank you, Xander. I appreciate that so much. Axel, you're so happy. I can see in your eyes. Thank you. Thank you. When I got out of Christianity, I was angry at first. And again, I wasn't angry at God because I knew that God didn't exist. I knew that Jesus wasn't alive, that if he was a real person, he had died just like everybody else. I can stop busting if you, maybe so. Yeah, I don't mind. It's up to you guys. But I was angry at first, but I was just angry that I had been duped for most of my life, that I had invested so much of my life and emotion and love and heart into, trying to be like Jesus and love God and be like Christ and know this God that didn't even exist. I had devoted everything to him, and I was just angry at the situation after I got out of Christianity and ministry. But I mean, that's been a long time ago. So this whole journey has led me to the place of absolute inner peace and bliss. I'm a human being, so I have all the range of emotions, but there's always this deep-seated knowledge of who I really am, which is existence. I am the universe is what I am, and so are you. And so there's always that deep-seated knowledge and peace that comes from that, because I can watch these emotions now. I can watch the ego and the emotions and the human happening. I can watch those things and just watch them play out, like clouds floating in front of the sky. I can watch them and realize they're clouds floating by, and they will dissipate. But what's always there is the sky. What's always there is the true true nature of existence, which is what we are. Yeah, exactly, Jay. Why don't you at least? Yeah, right, man. No, they can't. They can't listen. I'm so happy I left. I'm so happy I left. Yes, exactly. And I mean, that's what it is. Yeah, Rex, I love Alan Watts. After you do leave and you go through that hard departure, because it was a hard departure. I mean, it was my life. It was everything to me. It was my livelihood, even. I mean, it's how I lived. but because I have integrity, I could not continue to preach the things I knew weren't true and I no longer believed. But it was a hard, hard journey. But once you do make it through that journey and you go through the process, it's absolutely worth it. And you do find the peace that religion promises and can never, ever deliver. Never. 3 years in, nice, Patrina. You feel like you lost a part of you. Yeah, you do, don't you? You do, because it is a part of you. It is. I mean, it was so much of I mean, it was my foundation. It was my identity, right? I mean, I even preached that our identity was in Christ, and that was my belief. I believed it wholeheartedly and sincerely. So you do. I mean, when you come out of it, you lose a part of yourself. You lose the foundation. I mean, you lose your footing. You have nothing to stand on. And so you have to rebuild. You have to go on this new journey of like a true self-realization, a true self-discovery of who am I apart from this cult? Who am I apart from this religion? Who am I apart from this programming? Who am I apart from this, this system that I've been a part of since I was born, basically, that I've devoted my life to? Who am I apart from this thing? And you have to go on this path of self-discovery and self-realization. Yeah, self-reflection. Yeah, self-love. Exactly. You have to learn who you really are. And that's the question you begin to ask yourself. Who am I? Who am I really? My family still don't know I left. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. Away. I still worrying after 10 years away from dogma. Yeah. Do you believe that Jesus was a figure at the time? There was something else in that. Sir. Jesus might have been a real person, but the Jesus that you read about in the New Testament definitely is a fabrication. That's pure fiction. So there may have been a guy, Jesus, that those stories were based on. I don't debate that, or there's no I mean, it's just irrelevant, really, of a question. Was there a Jesus or not? That's totally irrelevant, because what we know is that the Jesus in the New Testament is pure fiction. That Jesus doesn't exist, never existed. That's right. We are all one, because we are all the same existence. We really are. So good to see you made it. The smile on your face is amazing. Thank you, Firebrand. I appreciate that very much. Very much. That's so much appreciated. 40,000 manuscripts. The earliest manuscript evidence we have is dated no earlier. The most conservative dating is 115 CE, 125 CE, around there. And that same manuscript fragment could be possibly 250 CE. So I mean, that's the earliest manuscript evidence that we have. So that's just completely and utterly false. It's just false, and that's just not true. Yeah. Yeah, it takes fierce love to tell the truth, risking hurting people's egos. Right, I know. And it's not for everybody. There are so many of these people that comment on here that should just scroll on. There are 10,000 Christian TikTokers out there that are alive right now that you could be listening to and just echo chambering. You don't have to listen to me. You're living in sin. There's no such thing as sin. What did I see? I saw a comment and now I lost it. I tried. Beliefs are truly a fool's game. Believing God or atheism, different sides of the same coin, right? Right. Yeah, don't believe anything. There's no need to believe anything. No need to believe anything. Wake Up says, you're living in sin, brother. For a name like that, Wake Up, You're Dreaming. Such a cool name. Such a not cool comment, because sin doesn't exist. I like your name. Your comment is just not true. There's no such thing as sin, because there's no God to sin against. Right, David. Right. Falling away in faith before the end time. The end time was the first century, my friend. The end times that the New Testament talks about are the destruction of Jerusalem. They're just describing what had happened to Jerusalem, describing that as the end times. That's it. There are zero end times coming that are biblical. There's no prophecy to be fulfilled. It's brave to come out of religion and discuss it. It is, because we are a minority. We are, and we get attacked. I mean, look, 90% of the comments are just attacks. And it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. It doesn't faze me at all, because I know where they're coming from. I've been there. I've been there. I've been a radical Christian, sincere, genuine, radical Christian. So I know where they are coming from. Do you have an education? Yes, I have a bachelor's degree in computer information systems and a master's degree in religion, and that one's from Westminster Theological Seminary. So I learned Hebrew, I learned Greek, I was a pastor for several years, and I intellectually worked my way out. That's what I've been talking about. What's up, Dave? You've missed the show. You've missed so much. It's been good. Have I just now found your account? I don't know, Axo, but I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. What a story you have. Yeah, it is quite a story, Anna. I feel sad for your family. Well, that's very rude. You have no need to feel sad for my family. You don't know my family. That's very rude. How unchristian of you. Do you do lives with Justin? I don't know. I'm not on TikTok a lot, except for when I do these lives. I like that emoji. What's your go-to karaoke song? You know, I've done AC/DC more times than I want to admit, because I definitely don't sound like AC/DC. Yeah, I was in Jeff's live. I like Jeff. Thank you, Serge. What's up, my friend? Yeah, Jeff, I like to watch his lives. I don't watch a whole lot of lives, but Jeff's are ones that I a lot of times tune into if I'm on TikTok. Beliefs exist in thought. What happens when there's no thought? Neither belief or disbelief. Right, exactly. And that's, oh, okay, Patrina, yeah. And I recognized you from there as well. Yeah, he is. He's full of info. It's really good stuff. You know, I knew Jeff on here when he was still a Christian, when he was still a believer. He was a full preterist believer. And I wrote him one time, I think in his Discord, and I said, Jeff, you're almost there. I know that you're on your way out. It won't be long, and you're not going to believe anymore. Mark my words. And I messaged him the other day, and I said, do you remember me telling you this? And now, sure enough, he did. He intellectually worked his way out of the religion. And that's why I love watching his lives, because I watched that process happen. He was a full preterist believer. And I knew that he was going to work his way out. I mean, the things that he was talking about, I was like, you're on the edge. You're almost there. And it's going to be soon that you escape. And sure enough, he's out. And I'm so glad. Do you believe in a higher source, like a form of energy? I don't believe in anything. So, you know, a higher force would imply a separation, right? And separation is an illusion. There is existence, and we are the energy of existence. We're the energy of the universe, the cosmic energy that is flowing in all things, as all things. That's what we are. And so there's no hierarchy of energy, right? There's no, you know, I mean, we could say, you know, you're bringing negative energy into this house, or positive energy, and that's, you know, that's like our personalities. But as far as like a higher power energy out there somewhere, I don't believe in anything like that, because I am not separate from anything else that exists. I am, yeah, you are it, exactly, Thad. I am that. You are that. There's no real separation going on in any of this. So we are that higher power energy, you know. But it doesn't make sense to say a higher power energy. We are the energy of the cosmos, the universe. Yeah, Bustin. It's the analogy of the ocean of being. We're all waves, right? And we think we're separate waves here and there, but we're not. We are all of the ocean of being, all of us. And so That illusion of separation is just that. It's an illusion. If God was real, he would make himself known, not confuse us with all the religions, right? And like I was saying earlier, the reason that so many denominations exist and so many interpretations of Scripture exist is because we are so far removed from the historical context. We're so far removed from the origin of those writings. They have nothing to do with us today. And so here we are, over 2,000 years later, trying to interpret these Scriptures to mean something to us today in 2024 when they have absolutely nothing to do with us today. They had only to do with what these people then were going through. Whatever that motivation was, whether it was to explain why Jerusalem was destroyed, whether it was to continue a religion that was being destroyed, whether it was to evade any future destruction by Rome or whatever, or maybe it was Rome creating these things. Whatever the motivation was, we're so far removed from it. And the reason we have so many different denominations and interpretations is that we are so far removed from it. That's why, because it doesn't make sense to us at all. It has nothing to do with us. We do not live in Second Temple Judaism. We do not live in first century Roman Empire. It has nothing to do with us at all. To us, it's fiction. That's what it is. And the stories of Jesus are fiction. They're 100% fabrication. And that's why there are so many variations and so much debate. Like I said, I got on TikTok today and I saw two Christians just going at it, debating. And I was like, this is hilarious. It's ridiculous, really, that two Christians are debating over something that is absolutely irrelevant. This God doesn't exist, and you're fighting tooth and nail over it. You're fighting tooth and nail about who's right about this interpretation and that interpretation. And no one's right about it because it has nothing to do with us. I believe the world has no meaning. Well, there's no meaning out. There's no objective meaning. There's no one to give it meaning. And meaning only makes sense within the illusion of separation. As long as you think you are a separate ego that exists apart from everything else, that's when meaning makes sense. But once you realize and you transcend that egoic separatist mindset, meaning makes no sense anymore. It's irrelevant. What does meaning have to do with me when I am all that exists? What do I have to do with meaning when I am the universe? What does the universe have to do with meaning? What does existence have to do with meaning? What does the ocean of being have to do with meaning? When a wave thinks it's separate from the ocean, it says, what's my meaning? What's my purpose? And then when it realizes it doesn't even exist, it's just the ocean. And the ocean goes, oh, I am all these waves. What is meaning? It's irrelevant. It all goes together. So if you need some kind of meaning, you could think of it like that. It all goes together, right? It's inseparable. Everything is inseparable. It's all the flow of the cosmic energy, and everything flows together and goes together, and nothing can be separated and pulled apart. And so, you could look at that as meaning. Like if you need okay, why did this happen? Well, it happened because it's existence happening. It's just a happening of existence, but it all goes together and can't be separated. So thanks for sharing the live, Anna. You're explaining very well. Thank you, Rex. I appreciate that. they, they don't think it be like it is, but it do. I haven't seen this many parrots in a while. I know. Yeah, it's a lot. It really is a lot. How many likes do we have? 8,700. I always forget to look at that. Let's see, let me check on something here real quick. I think my YouTube is still going. My YouTube stream. We waking people up to BS religions, right, dude? I know, I know. Don't believe in religion, believe in cosmic religion. No, it's not a religion at all. It's nothing to believe. You don't have to believe anything. It's science. It's fact. You are made up of the same stuff as everything else around you. So there's nothing to believe. You can see it under a microscope. Yeah, exactly. It's knowledge of the true self. It's not believing, it's knowing. That's right. Keep it up. People should know. Right, Isaac. Where did that stuff come from to begin with? It just is. It exists. Existence exists. Where does existence come from? It doesn't come from anywhere. Where is there for existence to come from? Where would there be for existence to come from? That's absurd. It makes no sense. Where else is there other than existence? Existence is all that exists. What else could there be? It can't come from anywhere. There's nowhere else it could come from. How does that even make sense? That doesn't compute. It's not logical. It's not sound. It's not reasonable. Do I think? Oh, do you talking about me? Do you think humans have intrinsic worth? Well, I already talked about that. Xander. Lonnie says, you are wrong. I'm not. But you can believe whatever you want. And I don't want anybody to believe me. I'm just trying to wake you up so that you'll go on your own path and your own journey. Break out of the bondage of religion and go on your own journey. Go on your own discovery of self-realization and self-enlightenment and self-discovery. There isn't really an existence, as the word exist means to stand apart. Ah. I'm going to have to look into that. Hello, Lana. Trying to read some of the comments. A lot of people have died and seen. I already talked about that. That's not true. There's nothing to stand apart from. Right. Yeah, exactly. So, and that's the thing, Bo, is that words themselves separate. So words never, ever, ever can get at the heart of reality, what reality is. Because the minute you speak a word, it separates. The words are like little scalpels. They slice and dice existence, slice and dice and pull apart things that can't be pulled apart. They pull apart things that can't be separated. It's trying to pull apart the inseparable and slice up the inseparable. So anytime we use words, you can't really explain what it is, because even when you say the word it, separates it from everything else, right? And it gives the idea that it's something apart from something else. And it just isn't the case. And so words, you can only do so much with words. You do the best you can with words, but words fail. Words fall short. And that's why, there are so many of the sages of Eastern wisdoms and Eastern paths and spiritualities, even some of the Christian mystics, have come to a point in their life when they, and not necessarily a point in their lives, but when they talk about silence being the true language, because you just can't get at it with words, because words are inside of this thing, right? This whole illusion, and words separate the moment you speak them. Just dot. Yeah, Loki, that's something humans are unable to understand. Exactly, Kimberly. Yeah. It's really almost impossible to understand. That's right. That's right. You don't believe in God, he's saying you don't need him. No, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in anything. And there's no separate God out there to believe in. It's all the product of human imagination. God is made in man's image. It's not that man was made in God's image. It was that God is made in man's image. God is made in man's image and mind only. It's imagination. It's just belief. I can call down any god on this live and they will never show up because they're powerless, meaning they don't exist. And I'm not belittling you or being facetious or anything like that. I'm really not, and I'm not being disrespectful because I respect all of you, and I I'm grateful that all of you are here. But I can put any god to the test in any way whatsoever, and they will never ever come through. They will never ever show up because they don't exist. And people say, "Oh, well, they don't work like that. You have to wait until the next life." Well, that's very convenient for that God to not show up and wait until the next life. I mean, in the Bible, in the Quran, in the Book of Mormon, all these books, they show up, right? The gods show up. So why not now? It's because they don't exist. Do we exist? Not as any kind of separate entity. Existence is. And then we just talked about the word existence. Bo brought it up. Words can't get at what is. Words separate. But no, we don't exist not as anything separate. We are the whole thing that exists. We are the universe. We are existence itself. We can't exist without someone giving us life. Well, then your God can't exist if that's the truth. Rock on. So then we have eternal life. We are eternal life. Existence is all that there is. Death is meaningless to existence. Your reality, the nature of your reality is immune to death. There is no death. Death is an illusion. Yes, the ego will die. This energy will change forms, right? But the energy never ceases to exist. The universe never ceases to exist. Existence never ceases to exist. The waves may rise and fall, but the ocean of being is always there. The rising and falling of the waves has nothing to do with the life of the ocean. If the ego dies, will it be born again? Well, I mean, in a sense, every ego is existence. So we are every ego that has ever existed, that exists, and ever will exist. We are our true self, our true nature, our true reality is all the egos that there are, all the illusions of those egos. So, I mean, I don't know what death is like, and I've never experienced death. But what I can say about that is everything that exists, including all of those supposed illusions of egos, are not separate. That's the illusion. The separate ego is the illusion. That there is a reality to the ego is an illusion. That it just doesn't exist really, not as a separate entity. It is a part of the whole thing. It all goes together, it all flows together, and that includes this ego. But the ego is not a separate existence. We weren't placed into this creation, into this universe, and it seemed real. Right? Yeah, exactly. Plant TikTok. Yes, definitely. It all seems so real. The separation seems so real, doesn't it? This separate entity, this separate person seems so real. All religious rejects. Hey, my friend, it's doing a lot better today. Man, the procedure I had yesterday, it really worked well. I've been in excruciating pain for almost 2 weeks. Jesus just happened to die on winter solstice. How convenient, and rose on spring solstice. Don't be afraid for me. Be happy for me. I've escaped the bondage. Hopefully they gave you the good stuff to help with the pain. But the good stuff doesn't help. It doesn't work on me. It's crazy. It doesn't attack the pain at all. So I've been living on ibuprofen for almost 2 weeks now, which is not good. But today is the first day that I haven't had to like just pound the ibuprofen. I took it at 1:45 in the morning, and then I took it before this live just to help in case all this talking like makes it start hurting again. Yeah, right, Bustin. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, I have a good feeling about this one. I think this one was done well, and send the good stuff over here. I think this is going to be a good one. Live on ibuprofen. I cannot live on ibuprofen alone. That's a good one. It's just going to get worse. I hope not. I really hope not. So, I didn't put it on my background. I probably should jump off and put it on there and come back. But go to rickquestionsthings.com. I usually have it right here on the bottom, and I forgot to put it on there. rickquestionsthings.com. Go to rickquestionsthings.com. You can read some of how the no drinking. It's actually going well. I'll tell you about it. You can read about my deconstruction. You can read about my reasons for departure, but you can also read about the nature of existence, living in the present. I'm going through it's the halo. In your halo is your, oh yeah, but you can barely see it. It says rickquestionsthings.com right there, and I'm usually covering it up. But good point. I talk about I'm going through the Shin Shin Ming, which is an ancient Zen poem. I'm kind of writing through that at the moment, slowly. I just post when I want to, but also you can find these shirts. I've got a lot of shirts that I've designed and created on the website as well. You can ask me questions on the website, and I will post a video response to you if you submit a question. Give me a few, 1 to 3 days. There's book recommendations, friend recommendations. There are one-on-one sessions as well. But just go to rickquestionsthings.com. I put my announcements on there, my news, when I'm going live, all those kinds of things. You can watch the previous live on rickquestionsthings.com as well if you missed the previous. Thank you, Bo. Awesome. Yeah, that's new. I just set that up. The way your YouTube live background is done is great. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm streaming through OBS Studio to YouTube. So OBS it allowed me to create that little background and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Oh no. What time is it? 10:07. So I think I probably should get off. I want to add my website to the background. They'll deny it very angrily. Yeah, that is true. What is astral projection? I just don't know a lot about that. I really don't. Let me ask you one question. Go ahead, if I catch it, if I see it. People who haven't experienced God will tell you he's not real. Need faith. Of course, the belief. That's what all religions tell you. The Mormons will come around and knock on your door and say, you just need that burning in the bosom. You have to have the burning in the bosom. So you're not saying anything different than any other religion is going to say. It's all belief. Belief. Bro's punching the air right now. Just because you don't believe something does not mean you should disrespect. I haven't disrespected anyone. But just me speaking my truth about it, you call that disrespect. That's wild. Your whole line is disrespect. It's not. I mean, that's your opinion. You're projecting your own feelings onto me. I've been nothing but respectful. So you are projecting your own feelings, your emotions. Might join Scientology just for the fun of it. Yeah, exactly, Shannon. How about I sense like really red flags from that guy. We're just gonna get rid of him. Are you an atheist, spiritual, both, or none of the above? Good question. None of the above. I don't label myself at all. So I don't. Yeah, it does, Bustin. I don't label myself at all. I do. I know. I saw that. That's funny. Um, I don't feel the need to label myself. I don't call myself anything. A lot of people would label me, various things. But I don't want to. I don't want to perpetuate the illusion of separation. So if I label myself, I separate myself from everything else, and then I have to box myself into that label, and I have to use particular language. I have to be careful with what I say. Yeah, speech is always less powerful than silence. Exactly. That's what I was talking about earlier. I just don't label myself. I don't feel the need to, and I don't have any desire to label myself. A lot of people want me to label myself. They want me to fall into a camp. But I think I just kind of transcend all that because I see through it all. I don't think labels are necessary once you transcend all of those systems, right? And the necessity of belonging to this system or this group or that group. I don't feel the need to belong to any of that. You know. He's just going on and on. You don't have to listen. A lot of people are enjoying it and do all the time. You can scroll. There are 10,000 Christian TikTokers on right now. Go listen to one of those. You're forcing yourself to listen to me. Go on and on. That's because you know there's truth in what I say. I have some allergies tonight. Maybe it's this tea that I'm drinking. It's a new tea that somebody gave me. It's like a dark chocolate tea. Please keep going on and Rick. You're manna from heaven. Thank you. Uh-oh. Why is my YouTube not responding? Should go live. Error. Uh-oh. Wait. I think my YouTube